Hi Stampers, it's Elizabeth from StampScrapAndMore.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Canada. And thank you for joining me today for a video tutorial. I've taken a bit of a break, but I have been busy in the background creating with new product from the Mini Catalogue. And I'm here today to inspire you using the On the Ocean bundle, and I hope that you're going to love this card as much as I do. Let's get started. So this is the bundle, and I'm just going to clear my desk a little bit here so I have a little bit more room. So we are going to be playing with On the Ocean stamp set, which has We Can Weather This Together, You Are a Treasure, I'd Be Lost Without You, Happy Birthday, Hoping This Year is Full of Adventure and Excitement. We've got a flock of birds, a ship's wheel, a skull and crossbone, a wave, a cloud, and a pirate ship. These are the coordinating dies. There are 12 of them in this set. Not all of them coordinate, but quite a few do. This one coordinates with the pirate ship. We have this one that coordinates with the clouds. And we have this one, and there are actually two that coordinate with the ship's wheel. All the rest, I refer to them as standalone dies. We've got a pirate ship. We've got two sails. We've got a large skull and crossbone. And we've got two flags, and we've got two waves. And sometimes you have to actually die cut out pieces to understand how to use them and what they end up looking like. So I'm going to show you these two, which are the two waves. And I've got them here. And this one, this wave here, is this one. And I haven't snipped the sides off of it. When I die cut it out, I was going to snip the sides off, and I thought, ooh, wouldn't this be cute pocket, so that if you were doing a scrapbook page or a slimline card or something, that you could have it, and then let me just pull out one of the dies and then put sort of the ship in between the two. So I thought that would be cute, a cute little layout, but the intent is to snip those off. Now, in one of the projects that I'm going to be doing, this is for another Global Inspiration Stamp team, I'm going to be using both the positive and the negative side of the wave, and I'm going to show you what they look like. So there is one side, and there's a reason why I'm calling this the positive, and then this one is the negative, which is beautiful on its own. It's got a little bit more of a defined peak here. And then this is more of a rolling wave. And the reason why I'm calling this one the positive side is because of this die. And this screams to be used with adhesive sheets, just so you know. So this is what it looks like when you die cut it out. You could use this as a stencil, like if you didn't, I split this on this side, but if you wanted to, you could use it as a stencil with thumb daubers, or I think the blending brush might be a little harsh because you'd have to be careful not to wreck these intricate pieces. But if you used a sponge dauber and daubed it, or the finger dauber and daubed it, you could get a really nice sort of background look on a scrapbook page or a card, and I might do that in the future. But this is the piece that comes out of it. And the reason why I'm saying this is the positive side is because this marries perfectly along that edge. I'm going to bring it up here. Obviously it's not adhered down, but you can see how it mimics the edge of the wave. And so I tried doing it, let me just do this on this side, and this does not marry up. It doesn't marry up that way or that way. So, but in another project that I am doing, I've used both the negative and the positive side. So clear as mud, but I just wanted to share with you the waves, the wave dies, and what they look like. And I'm going to put this back in here like that. All right. So the card we're going to be making today is this one. Really out of my element. I'm not great with masculine cards or with children's cards, especially little boys' cards. And another project that I'm doing for an event, I'm using this bundle, and it definitely is a little boy's card, and I love how it turned out. So I will either upload the video to YouTube after the event, or I will recreate the project and post it on YouTube. But just goes to show the versatility of one stamp set and die bundle. All right, so let's get started. We've got a lot of embossing happening here, folks, a lot of embossing. So we're going to start off with soft suede, and this is a 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I got all my little pieces here. We need a piece of basic white that is going to be for the inside, and it is 5 1/4 by 4. We need another piece of soft suede that is 5 1/4 by 4, and I am going to mount that on the outside. And then we need a piece of basic white that is 5 by 3 3/4, and that is going to get mounted onto that. So you'll see that it is sort of a double mount. If you did not want to put the extra layer on, you could just eliminate the basic white, the soft suede, and make this 5 1/4 by 4. But I like the detail of having that extra layer, matted layer. You're going to need some scrap paper for the ship, scrap paper for the wave, and scrap paper for the happy birthday. And if you're observant, you're going to think, oh, where's that butterfly, or sorry, that bumblebee from? It's from another stamp set, and it's another project that I'll be showcasing. The colors that we're going to be using are Balmy Blue, Early Espresso, Versamark, and Embossing Powders Clear and Gold. And let's get started. I'm going to leave this here like that and see how long that stays in focus here before I run out of space. I'm going to start off with the Balmy Blue and my clouds, and I am going to clean them off as I go because I've been using the stamp sets for other projects. And I'm going to stamp 2 clouds. One thing I'm going to say about this stamp set is be very cautious of any over stamping, because I have had issues where I've gotten shadows. And I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to put it to the side like that. All right. That's it for the clouds. I'm going to break, oh, did I say Night of Navy? I didn't. And we're also going to be using Night of Navy. I'm going to be bringing out the Night of Navy and the birds. And I'm going to stamp sort of, I should have brought the clouds up a little higher, but you know, it's okay. And I'm going to stamp the birds. I can't tell you, this is probably the 4th time doing this video. There's been an issue every time I've tried to do the video, and then the last time, which I thought, that's great, I'm uploading it. When I switched to this camera view, it went muted, and so there was no sound. I could have done a voiceover, but I've never done that before, and I think that might have taken longer to figure out. So, and there's the birds, and that is it for the clouds, the birds, and I'm going to put that aside, and the Night of Navy, I'm going to put that aside. And now I'm going to stamp the wave, whoops, at the bottom here. And we are going to be stamping and embossing that in clear. So I'm going to be stamping it in Versamark. And I had my embossing buddy on my desk. There it is. And I'm going to stamp it in Versamark and heat emboss it in clear embossing powder. Like that. And bring out my clear embossing powder. So the new catalog, the new mini, goes live January 5th. I think it's the 5th. And goes through to May 1st. Also, during this period, well, part of it, January 5th to February 28th, it will be Celebration, which means a free product for every $60 purchase. So here you can see the embossing. It's clear, and I'm going to heat emboss this. And you know, you could leave it like that. You could leave it like that, but I want to take it up a notch. So I've got my blending brush, and I'm going to take the Balmy Blue, and I'm going to color in this relief. I'm going to ink this up. If you wanted to, you have a scrap piece of paper on the side here, just to take off any deep colors that you might have picked up from here, but you know, this is going to be okay. I'm going to be very light at the beginning, and then I'm going to rub it in, and I'm going to do that all over the image. It kind of gives you a negative feel, like you'll see the clear starting to pop out. And you can do it as light or as dark as you want. You can see it better if I turn the light a little bit. I'm going a little bit darker. And no two cards will look the same. There we go. I like. All right. I just realized I've got dirt on here on this card. Let me see if I can get it off. So what happens when you're when you've got cardstock and cards on your desk? If you're not careful, you get dirt on them. I was able to get it off. All right. Okay, so there's the card. Now I'm going to do the ship, and I'm going to stamp it in Versamark again. And this time I'm going to emboss it in gold. Let me just make sure I've got the right size. Yep, that will fit. And I'm going to bring out my gold embossing powder. I'm not done with the clear yet. I've got something else that we're going to do. This is one of those cards that I just started to, okay, what can I do with this cloud? What kind of image would I get? And I just kept going. And this is what I ended up with. Okay, and now I'm going to take the gold embossing powder, and you know, you can stamp the ship in any color you wanted. I like the gold. You could do it in the copper, black. You could stamp it and not emboss it. In the catalog, I think they have a ship embossed in gold, and I really liked it. I have a little bit of over marking here, so I'm just going to brush it off. I think the brush and the tweezers and the embossing buddy and the tray were in the mini catalog that retires at the end of this year, but I believe those elements are carrying over. That bundle is carrying over. So now I've got the ship in, the pirate ship in gold embossing powder, and I'm going to heat this up. Okay, so there is the pirate ship, and now I'm going to die cut this out, except for I always get little fine pieces of embossing powder. Drives me crazy, so I'm just going to wipe that off because I can't handle it when it's on my work surface or on my hands. And I'm going to bring up my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So Santa Claus did bring me something for Christmas. Santa Claus brought me it's hard to hard to say. So I had an Archon mount on my desk that had my cell phone on it. So that gave me overhead camera. But every time I went to die cut something out, the Archon would shake, or it took up a lot of space on my desk. So Santa Claus brought me an Elgato multi-mount, and I can't take a picture of it because my cell phone is in use, but there's what the ship looks like. I'll die cut out, because the phone's in use. But I have a piece of wood bolted into the ceiling. This is a spare bedroom, bolted into the ceiling, and from that I have a multi-mount hanging that has the phone on the end of it. So I can shake the table, and the only thing that's going to move is my computer. The camera won't move. So I was very happy about that, if you're curious. Okay, so let's mount this together. Adhesive, here we go. I am going to mount this onto the front of the Early Espresso, or sorry, Soft Suede. Like that. Like this. Sometimes it's good to mount, because I've embossed it, and heat embossed it, sometimes it's good to mount cardstock onto another layer just to straighten it out. Sometimes it does warp a little bit, curl. Like that. And I'm going to mount this on the top. And while I'm stamping, I am going to stamp the inside and then put it aside, because we are going to be using the Early Espresso again for the sentiment. And for the sentiment, we are using the Hoping This Year is Full of Adventure and Excitement. And I'm going to clean it off. Like that. And I am going to use the ship's wheel. I don't know if it's just this stamp set, but there is a lot of extra red rubber. Be really careful when you use this, because I have on multiple occasions over inked it and I've gotten shadows. So you'll see there's a shadow right here. So I'm just going to wipe that off. Some people cut off the extra. I'm not going to do that because I sell my stamps afterwards, and I don't want, if somebody else wants to cut it off, that's fine. But I like to keep them in as good condition as possible for when I do sell them. And there we go. Love this. Putting that ship's wheel in there just adds that little added detail. And I'm going to put this aside to dry, because the Early Espresso can be quite pigmented and take a bit. Okay. Okay, here's the card. Now we're going to mount this on here like this. When you mount this, be very, pay attention that you put a piece of dimensional on the mast, I think that's what it's called, and up here at the top. I did on this card, no, the original card. This is the original card. I did put dimensional here, and it's not going anywhere, but I didn't here, and every time I go to pick up the card, it kind of curls, like my finger, it's like gravitated towards it. And so I want to make sure that I stop that, and I adhere that down. And I've got all these partially used pieces of dimensionals. This is a sheet of minis that's all used up. So I'm going to use this one. Hello. Come on. There we go. Put that here. Make sure I get the sticky side down. Like that. Make sure I can't see it. And then I'm going to do the same for the top. This is just one of those little fiddly things that makes a difference on your card. Sometimes, if you've got these little extra pieces that are not adhered down, taking it in and out of the envelope can really ruin it if they're not adhered down correctly. All right, so now I've got, whoops, those down, and now I'm going to use up some of these edges from the mini dimensional. Not pretty, but 1, 2, and then, oops, that one stayed there, and then 3. This one just doesn't want to adhere onto the card. There we go. All right, and I'm going to peel all that off. When I first saw, this is confession time. When I first saw the mini catalog, I have to tell you that I went, oh crap, not a lot in here that inspired me. I shouldn't say this as a good Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. But, trying to get this edge off. Oh, maybe I can't. Okay, I'm going to have to put another piece on there. I'm just rubbing this off because I lost some of the adhesive. Yeah, so there wasn't, I got to tell you, a lot that inspired me. I did buy the bee bundle, the Queen Bee, I think it's called, and there was another one that I bought, and I can't remember the name of it. It's not on my desk. And I really liked them. And then I looked again. This happens all the time, folks. And then I looked again in the catalog, and I went, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. And so then I had to put in a subsequent pre-order. And so I ended up getting this one, Playing in the Rain, which is cute. I don't know why I ignored it at the beginning, and Country Bouquet. So those were some of the additional ones that I ordered. So I can't wait to play with them. All right, so and now we are going to stamp the wave again. I'm going to clean it off. And I'm going to stamp it in Balmy Blue. And then I want it shiny. So I am going to emboss it in the clear as well. So I'm going to stamp it in Balmy Blue. I want it really inked up. I think my Balmy Blue needs to be re-inked. Okay. And now you can do one of two things. You can take your Versamark and ink up this whole thing, right? Or I'm going to clean this off again. And I'm going to ink up just this, and I'm going to stamp on top of here. And the reason why I don't want to ink this all up is I might smear some of the ink. I might get some of the ink onto my Versamark pad. And this way, doing it this way, I really don't care if I don't line it up perfectly, because I'm going to heat emboss, fussy cut this out, and no one will be the wiser. And if it's not perfectly aligned, it's okay, it's a wave. So that's my theory on this one. But I wanted the color and I wanted the shine. Now I have known some demonstrators will stamp, let's see they will ink up the in the color ink and then take it and then stamp, I think, into Versamark and then stamp. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's the other way around. Just I'm too much room for error for me. So this will work fine. And if it's not lined up perfectly, but you know, look, it's good enough. You would never know that it's not matched up perfectly. That's a lot of ramble, but. And I'm going to bring it up so you can see it closer to you. There we go. You can see the shine on it. And now we are, folks, going to fussy cut this out. And it's okay. You know, when I first saw this, yeah, you could stamp it flush onto the card, but I think popping this up and sort of nesting this wave in amongst the boat it just gives that added detail. And it's really super easy to fussy cut out. You'd think it'd be a little finicky, but it actually isn't. And I'm just cutting around. At the top, you've got sort of splashes of water. And I'm just going to cut around the splashes, leaving a little bit of a border. I'm just moving my paper more than anything. I've done this many times today. As I told you, I've made this card. I think this is the 4th time. So I have no excuse not to have mail cards. And almost to the end. And I'm doing it quickly so that you don't have to sit and watch me fussy cut. And here we go. And now I'm going to pop this up like this. And you kind of have this wave action happening. What do you think? What do you think, folks? I'm loving the wave action. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the right-hand side, and then a little dabble do it of Tombow glue. Oops. Like that. And we're almost done. When I move the cardstock or the paper, I can hear bits of grit from the embossing powder underneath. It drives me crazy. I'll have to bring out my vacuum cleaner. Okay. Because this has been embossed, really make sure you hold that end down so that it adheres to the ship, because it could tend to curl a little bit because it's been embossed and it's been heated. And all right, and then last but not least, I have my, did I put it back? My happy birthday. I don't think I put it, oh, there it is. Here's the happy birthday. And you need a small strip of cardstock. And I had, I'll just get one here. I have a drawer full of these. So it's a lot easier to stamp and freehand cut it out than it is to try and get a small sentiment on a small piece of cardstock. My opinion, folks. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's not straight, but we will make it straight. So I'm going to cut this like that. I'm going to cut a little bit more. And, oh, it's not straight. That's not straight either. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I am going to freehand a straight line like that. And I want to take a little bit off the top. Okay, there we go. Happy birthday. And I'm going to put it so that it a little bit tucks underneath the ship. Little dimensionals. I'm going to put 3, 2, and then 3. I love how this card turned out. Like I said earlier, this was just a, okay, let's stamp these images and see what you get. I started with the clouds and just went from there. And when I'm done here, I have meatloaf in the oven. That's dinner. Okay, little 2, there must be a dimensional right there. Wouldn't let me go under. All right, so happy birthday like that. And then we're going to put the inside in. Like this. Like that. I love the soft suede cardstock when you're embossing with the gold. It's really rich, I think, anyhow. And then I have, like the good Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that I am, I have an envelope here. And let's see what we're going to put on the envelope. Maybe we will put the ship's wheel on the envelope. And there we go, early espresso. I love. So that is the card. And the inside, hoping this year is full of adventure and excitement. And that's the outside of the card. I see a mark on here. I'm so critical of when I see marks on cards. Yeah. Anyhow, I come by it naturally because my fingers have got ink on them. That's the card. I hope you enjoyed that card. That is using, wherever I put it, the On the Ocean stamp set with coordinating dies. And if you're part of the participate in the Global Inspiration Stamp team, I hope you like the project that is being presented New Year's Eve. And I will try to recreate it or upload the video onto YouTube so that you can be inspired as well. Take care, happy stamping, and we'll talk to you again soon.